Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to another episode of Mazaj with Ace Attorney Investigations. In the last episode, Lang came back and accused Franziska, of all people, of murdering Damas II, believing that because she went back and forth, she was able to go back and forth between Alabasta and Babal, she was able to smuggle the Primitive statue and the knife over here between the two places, but now we are trying to find another way for the Primitive statue to have made its way across the border. So... yeah, let's get going. Cross-examine him. One more. But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not for the discussion of my conclusions, it's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues. What did the crossbow launch? Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. Heh, I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Kojin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy, down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alabast's Primitive statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then what about Babal's Primitive statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal, going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that? Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's Primitive statue. I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously... Simultaneously? Get real! The statues would collide somewhere along the way. Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of a wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Lang Ji says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension difference between the two wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Lang, as you know, the Primitive statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure, and the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Ji says... oh! Here is what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirator set themselves up in the two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babal, where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED. Ha! This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you could do it? Can you prove what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that'll turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor! The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. I believe that it is right here in this very room. Circular belt transportation method possible. Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick are two pulleys. Precisely. The ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fans made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Bobbley's offices, and that the Passion Flower support sticks could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case? Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food! Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of the finger here in this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now, but to rush in. There is a piece of evidence that will point to us who the mysterious mastermind is. Dog, I don't know. I don't know what to do. The smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both the offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person had very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person that I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus it can only be you, quick as Alba! What the fuck? Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor. What was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there is one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to retain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Primadux statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than King Primadux himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission.
This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike because he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador?
I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. It looks like a gap.
Hey, you're right! Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret?
Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What?
Hurry up and open it, Miles!
Alright, here goes. What the?
Wow, it really did open up! Hey, what's this thing that fell out?
I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. What in the... It is this? Hey! Is this what I think it is?
It's a plate for making counterfeit bills.
Somehow, it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabas to begin with. The Primadux statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object which to hide the contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damas II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue of Damas II and... Then, in order to frame the steel samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba? You're the leader of the smuggling ring? My country is a mess, and it's all because of you?
You're the one who killed Damas II?
Answer us! I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there is one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was... Mr. Cochin. Quit screwing around! Quite screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man! If there's one thing I'm sure of, is that you're the real ringleader, Quirkus Alba! It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation! Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flippy-floppy logic any real weight, do you? It looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you.
What? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation.
Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning.
You did?
I knew that this whole incident had been meticulously planned out and prepared for, so naturally the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. So that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as the bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around.
So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth.
Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening, I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brain of logic. The evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? I don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him. Oh, you're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me. Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring. Don't be such a sore loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity. Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue. You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything. It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? Can you provide that it doesn't? Shut the up! No! He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, then we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? A trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Needless to say, we Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma, and I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law, and what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is one I must make by my own hand here and now. No! You can't make me choose! Why does this feel like... Why does this feel like oh my god, the guilty or not guilty choice from Pharaoh at my Turnabout? Oh my god. There was no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this. Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates. Oh, is that what it is? This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me. By a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense and let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that this card was not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG8 incident. The KG8 incident? The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Oh, very interesting. I must admit I am very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you've presented. The prey the Yatagarasu has been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man, who has had free reign for 10 long years, to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. March 15th, 1:34 a.m., Theatrum Neutralis lobby. So, what is this interesting thing that you wanted to show me? The trump card and the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words will be realized. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! What you see here is security footage shot just before the KG8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the card is a directives card from the smuggling ring. This is the section that proves that the card was used to relay an order. Man, the card? As you can see, Mr. Cochin is holding the card in his right hand. I see. The killer is indeed holding a card with the exact same design on it. But that card and the one you have, just because they look the same doesn't mean that they are, does it now? Ah, but there's a very easy way for me to prove that they are in fact one and the same. All we had to do was simply take a look at this. I don't know. A section of the text has been obscured by blood, but it's clear the writing is Kadopian. According to Detective Bad, Silence CCU is what is written here, along with the method to be used and where she lived. The evil intent displayed in this writing will not go unpunished. This dark red blood. Yes, this is your proof. Proof that the orders on this card were played out in that terrible tragedy. The blood belonged to the victim of the KG8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can very easily verify that as fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. This car that passed by in front of the victim's apartment building. It's an official Kadopian government car. What? Detective Gumshoe, if you could please magnify the footage. Hello? The shape of this pocket, and the directives card in it. It tells us that without a doubt, this person in the car is Mr. Cochin. Ugh. The license plate on the car was also captured by the security camera, and with it, we can easily find out who was sitting in this car on that day 10 years ago. Ugh. Which is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in this car on that day. Oh my god! Oh my god! What the Man's arching his back real well. Oh my god. What? How so? The Principality of Kadopia no longer exists, so naturally all records from that time period also no longer exist. Ugh, that arrogance. What he really means is that he's already erased all traces of them. Are we finished here, boy? The only weapon I have left to me now is this piece of footage. There must be something here that I can use against him. What the? Ambassador Alba! Yes, what is it? You were once an army man in the service of Kadopia, and it was you who made the many missions you participated in successes, correct? Why the sudden backhanded praises, boy? Although, to be sure, the brilliant medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Kadopia. but now I am the only one who owns this particular medal. In that case, the only person who it could be who is sitting in this car is you. How do you figure that? By the medal captured here in this footage. It is clearly the exact same medal as the one on your chest. What? This is how it will be, but I won't look back. For this is the path that I have chosen. You've moved me with your devotion to this case, Mr. Edgeworth. Why is he taking such an arrogant stance with me? He's arching his back really well, holy shit. It looks like I just might lose our little game this time. You might lose the game this time? You don't get another round, Mr. Ambassador. Is that a fact? Very well. I've decided to confess and admit my guilt.
You're going to confess?
And I will accept whatever punishment that may come as a result. What the? Regarding the the second murder, I admit it. I did it out of self-defense. You're claiming it was justified self-defense? Damas II attacked me, and I felt that my life was in danger. If I hadn't done what I did, I might be the one you found dead instead of him. What a pathetic performance. I'm not giving you that one.
Wow, you two really know how to laugh at inappropriate times. Please shut up.
If you wish to claim it was justified self-defense, then we will need some evidence. It's always the evidence with you, isn't it? But if that's what you require, I'll provide it. That man left a mark on me when he attacked. What? I don't particularly want to show it off, but this is proof that it was in self-defense. Oh. I am an old man, and sometimes I don't pay enough attention when I should.
But Damas II didn't have a single weapon on his body.
Hold on. It's nothing to get worked up over, because I hid the weapon.
You hid it?
I'm sorry, but as you know, a murder is a murder, even if it's in self-defense. And I couldn't let it become public, seeing as how I am an ambassador. This is the weapon you seek, my special bonsai trimming shears.
Ugh, it's covered in blood.
It was trembling quite badly during our struggle, but that's when he grabbed the shears that were sitting in my office and attacked. So you see, it was an act of self-defense.
Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Since he has both a wound and the weapon that caused it, it's enough to declare it so. God damn it.
No way!
Oh, which reminds me, I guess there is still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, all of that is my secretary's doing. I had no knowledge it was going on. Stop spewing nonsense! You're trying to throw my investigation on the bus in your desperation! If you want to get real honest, everything in this case can be connected to you!
The murder of Damas II was done in self-defense? In my trials, no one escapes his crime alive!
Perhaps so, if you were my opponent in court. However, there is one very important fact I think you may have forgotten. And what is that? That's what you mean. Extraterritoriality. That's right. This embassy sits on what is effectively Alabastian soil, so any trial that is to be held will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts. Agent Lang, what is Interpol's stance on this? Agents investigate. That's our job. The judgment of people who have confessed to their crime. That's the court's job. Ugh. And I've already confessed to all my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. These rights are effective even on your country's soil. Therefore, no matter where a crime may take place, I will never stand trial in one of your courts. That arrogance and your expression, it's nothing like the face of someone who's ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me you have your own country's judicial system eating right out of your hands. These crimes you all speak so seriously of, To me, this has all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. Alabast has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. All you would accomplish is you would change the backdrop of our little game. These 2 layers of protection that extraterritoriality provides him. This is why he is one of those who cannot be brought to court. You see now, don't you? I live in a whole different world than you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and fetch your eviction papers. Ugh! Is there nothing we can do? So this is why we're still here. Oh my god. Man, I hate the fact that I know that there's a lot after this, and this guy is not gonna be easy to beat. Oh god, okay. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Roll the end card.
Objection! You haven't hit like and subscribe yet! Hold it! You forgot to ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload! Take that! Click here to watch more of my videos! Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!